Hi guys, good morning. This is Dan. Welcome to Engelgeist. For those of you that are new, welcome. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. For those of you that support me over on Patreon, thank you so very much for your subscriptions. I greatly appreciate them. This is your daily forecast for all signs. It is to be used if it fits in your life. Wherever you feel it best fits intuitively, use it to your advantage. It is originally set for, I can't believe today's Tuesday, the 12th of October. It feels like October just started. I'm running out of time. For Tuesday, the 12th of October, it's not solely set for that date. If you're seeing it on a different date than the 12th of October, that's okay. Take the message of the cards rather than the date that it was originally created for. Please check out the drop-down menu. Underneath the daily forecast, in there will give you information about the channel, how to reach me, what my social medias are, things like that, okay? All right, let's get into these cards and see what's going on. I slept poorly last night, and then I'm now running behind as a result of it. So let me get this taken care of. Okay. We have the Eight of Cups. Interesting that she chooses a tiger. Definitely a form of strength, right? Quiet strength is the first thing that I think of. And that's like kind of the sort of the deal with the Eight of Cups. Cups being that element of water. The eight being about sort of maintaining balance, but in a way having to have that balance maybe at a cost, right? Or at a sacrifice. There's something that we're no longer allowed to partake in. There's something that we're no longer allowed to sort of do. Engage in, argue with, debate about. It just hurts too much, right? And so the Eight of Cups is about maybe taking that higher road, doing the more noble thing, being stronger and carrying ourselves in a different direction than maybe the direction we've been heading. Emotionally, it might feel a little bit sad, you know, like a departure, a shifting in a way, but it's a conscious choice with the Eight of Cups, right? To me, I see the Eight of Cups as us having to choose to do the right thing rather than stay engaged in something that's only like harming us or continuing to hurt us, cloud our vision, cloud our feelings, confuse us, that sort of thing. To me, the Eight of Cups is kind of like growing up in a way around a situation. No longer engaging or sinking to levels that, even if it's with somebody that we love or something that we love or a situation that we care deeply about, if we're not behaving properly and we're aware of that, the Eight of Cups is going to, empower us to hopefully change that, take the higher road, do something that's different in a way, if that makes sense, right? I love that she chooses a tiger here because the tiger to me is this form of strength, and it takes strength to sort of carry out whatever the Eight of Cups is asking of us. Right? If it's asking us to walk away from a situation that emotionally we're tied to, it's not always an easy task. And so I like that she uses the sort of the tiger as the animal because it's a sort of silent, strong, beautiful, noble beast, right? And so in the Eight of Cups, oh God, they're banging each other into the walls, these puppies. In Eight of it's nobody's here. That was you banging your head into the wall that you're now barking at. Speaking of noble beasts, right? Anyway, she bangs her own head in the wall and then starts barking. She's playing, the two puppies are playing. But then one dog barks because they hear the thump and then they all start barking. Anyways, so to me, the nobility and the quiet nature and the strength of this tiger is what is going to be needed within our character to carry us through whatever it is that we're facing, dealing with, or walking away from, essentially, is what I'm getting from this card, or the meaning of this card today. We had that Ten of Swords, right, which was that initial defeat, and that would still be underneath this, right? So we're feeling the death of that or the ending of that, and we're very clear on the fact that resistance is futile in a way, right? There's not we can no longer resist. We need to move in a different direction. The one thing I do love is these clouds are clearing away for this tiger, and so it means that like any confusion or any sort of disharmony is about to shift. It's going to take some work, is my feeling, right? And it's going to take some maybe dedication of staying focused on a new goal or a new way to get there. But it's worth doing it because it's going to bring about not only that sense of strength that the tiger has, but also just a sense of balance emotionally within our lives that we need. And also, we have that Ace of Pentacles coming in the midweek too. So that indicates new life, new doors, new material wealth, right? And material wealth can be money or financial, but it can also be like redefining of relationships because relationships are in the part of the material world. They're physical body beings, right? And they bring us sort of wealth, happiness, joy, all of those sort of things. So that Ace of Pentacles can be the um, uh, reestablishing of relationships in a new pattern, right? And that might be what's going on for some of you. So here is the, oh, interesting. Here is the Oracle card. It's braid. In a lot of cultures, and I'm not exactly sure which ones, but hair is a sign of spiritual growth, right? And when I think of a braid, I love it because it's like when you wrap the hair together and intertwine it, it becomes stronger, right? Or more sort of it's a stronger strand of hair, right? It's three strands sort of working together. It takes my brain to this idea of like not only our personal power, right, which we see that in the tiger, but we also see that in the mind body spirit connection, and that would be like the three components of the braid braiding together to make one complete person. Does that make sense? And so as we're braiding maybe our thoughts, which would be the Ten of Swords, with the emotions, which would be the Eight of Cups, and our feelings, our thoughts, our actual physical well-being, right, which would be represented by that Ace of Pentacles. As we're braiding those three things together, we get to control that experience. We get to control that creation of that braid, of that harmony that exists within us, right? And then hair sort of being this idea of spiritual growth in certain cultures to me indicates that's the strength of that, right? Or the beauty of that, the harmony of that, that we can attain within ourselves today if we choose that higher road or if we decide to go that route. I hope that makes sense. Does that make sense? I think it does. I mean, like, the whole idea of hair having power, like when you think about like witches' spells, like a lock of hair, blah, 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 like there's an essence to it that is within us. And so I use the idea of the braid as a metaphor in a way of us intertwining within ourselves and becoming stronger and more, in a way, complex, but yet understanding ourselves better, controlling ourselves in better ways. That's certainly the Eight of Cups meaning, is finding like a better sense of self-control, right? And we do that through the action of the braiding of the mind, body, and spirit together. Okay, so let's go to the grounding stone. And the grounding stone for this morning is on Tiger's Eye. Ha ha ha, get it? Tiger and Tiger's Eye. So that's very much in line. And the word is generosity. So generosity, like grounding in that idea of generosity, is like where can we give to ourselves? Also, in certain situations, where can we give to others by no longer engaging or by no longer, sinking to levels or criticisms, judgments, things of that nature. Taking that sort of higher road, knowing that we are the noble beast, the strength that is this tiger, right? We have the capacity to protect and own our space, in a sense, and we don't necessarily need anybody else's validation to do that for ourselves. But that in a form is a generosity to ourselves, right? But in doing that for ourselves, we're also being generous to others by not having to engage, convince. You know what I'm saying? I hope this is making sense because it is early and I feel like my brain is kind of flying around. But when I think about that, think about what can you the Eight of Cups is definitely about sort of a walking away or a departure, right? Emotionally, a separation of sorts. But sometimes in doing that, we can be generous by, I don't know, like no longer wanting to do harm or hurt or stress to ourselves or others. And I think that that might be what today is about for some of you. Okay, and I'm just going to leave it there. That is your forecast for the day. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it and share it out. Also, leave me a question or comment. I love those. And I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. It'll be interesting to see how these cards play out this week. And again, thank you so much for tuning in, and subscribe to the channel if you feel so inclined. All right, take care and have a wonderful day. Bye bye.